the fears, frustrations, and desires of mature singles, and is brought to you by the Soundscape Booktube. To every mature single out there, your fears, frustrations, and desires are valid. Equally valid are your joy, resilience, and uniqueness. You are not incomplete or lagging behind, you are simply walking a different path, one that holds its own distinct beauty. Introduction. In a society that idolizes the whirlwind romances of youth and the supposed bliss of early love, mature singles often find themselves navigating uncharted waters. Their journey is unique, enriched by the wisdom of experience, yet sometimes tinged with questions that can feel isolating. What does it mean to be single later in life? How do you balance personal growth with societal expectations? Most importantly, how do you make room for both your fears and your dreams? For some, this phase of life represents an exciting chapter filled with independence, self-discovery, and unfiltered joy. For others, it can feel like a minefield of societal judgments, nagging self-doubts, and occasional loneliness. However, let's not overlook the beauty inherent in it all. Being single as a mature adult is not a failure. It's a season brimming with opportunities to grow, reflect, and discover love in its many forms, including self-love. This book delves into the intricate emotional landscape of mature singles, their silent fears, simmering frustrations, and fervent desires. It's not about solving the problem of being single, but rather celebrating the richness of this chapter. Through poignant anecdotes, motivational insights, and a touch of humor, we will explore what it means to be single and thriving. As writer Mandy Hale wisely said, single isn't a status, it's a word that describes a person who is strong enough to enjoy life without depending on others. Whether you are single by choice, chance, or circumstance, this book is for you. Let's embark on this journey together and uncover the unique beauty of this season in your life. Chapter 1. The Fear of Time Slipping Away. One of the most common fears among mature singles is the sensation that time is slipping away. It's not just about biological clocks or societal expectations regarding love and family, but also the fear of missing out on key milestones that seem to define a complete life. For many, this fear is intertwined with questions like, what if I never find someone? Or what if it's too late to start over? The pressure of milestones. Society often imposes unspoken deadlines for significant life events: marriage by 30, children by 35, and a settled life by 40. Mature singles frequently compare their lives to these milestones, feeling like they've fallen behind. Take the story of Anna, a 45-year-old lawyer who dedicated much of her adult life to her career. I worked so hard to get where I am professionally, she says, but sometimes, I wonder if I missed my chance to have a family. This fear is heightened when peers have already achieved these milestones. Watching friends celebrate anniversaries, post family vacation photos, or plan for retirement as a couple can serve as a constant reminder of what hasn't happened yet. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt. Reframing time as opportunity, reminder of what hasn't happened yet. Instead of viewing time as a fleeting resource, it is essential to see it as an opportunity. Mature singles often have the advantage of hindsight, experience, and a clearer understanding of their desires. Unlike younger years, when choices were heavily influenced by external pressures, this stage allows for more intentional decision-making. Consider James, a 52-year-old graphic designer who only recently started dating again after a divorce. In my 20s, I dated because I felt like I had to, he explains. Now, I date because I genuinely want to connect with someone who complements my life. Shifting the perspective from what have I lost, to what can I gain, transforms each day into an opportunity to meet new people, explore passions, and build a fulfilling life. Don't count the days, make the days count. Muhammad Ali. Finding fulfillment beyond relationships. Another way to combat the fear of time slipping away is to focus on personal fulfillment. Life is about more than romantic relationships. Mature singles have the opportunity to explore hobbies, travel, volunteer, and deepen friendships. These experiences add richness to life and remind us that joy isn't solely tied to a partner. For example, V, a 40-year-old teacher, decided to take up painting during her summer holidays. At first, it was just a way to pass the time, she shares. But now, it's become a passion, and I've even started selling my artwork online. It is not time that matters, but what you do with it. Unknown. Actionable steps to reframe time. 1. Set personal goals. Shift your focus from societal timelines to your own ambitions. Write down what you want to achieve in the next year or 5 years. 2. Celebrate your growth. Reflect on how far you've come and the experiences that have shaped you. 3. Stay open to possibilities. Whether it's a new hobby, career change, or relationship, remain receptive to what life has to offer. Chapter summary. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty, but it doesn't have to define your journey. By embracing time as a friend rather than a foe, you can transform your narrative from one of pressure to one of possibility. Chapter 2. Frustration with societal expectations. Mature singles often face one of the most taxing frustrations: societal expectations. From the prying questions of well-meaning relatives to the incessant reminders on social media of milestones others are celebrating, it can feel like the world is determined to measure your worth by your relationship status. The pressure to conform to traditional life paths can leave singles feeling judged or inadequate. The weight of why are you still single? One of the most common questions mature singles encounter is the dreaded why are you still single? Though often posed innocently, it carries an underlying assumption that being single is inherently problematic. For people like Rachel, a 39-year-old entrepreneur, this question can feel like an attack. Every family gathering, someone brings it up, she says. I've achieved so much in my life, but all they seem to care about is whether I have a husband. This constant scrutiny can lead to frustration and self-doubt. It's as if societal norms are saying, you can't possibly be happy unless you're coupled up. But happiness is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Your life isn't yours if you always care what others think. Lao Tzu. Challenging the narrative. It's essential to question and redefine the narratives imposed by society. Success and fulfillment come in many forms, and for mature singles, those forms might look different from traditional milestones. For example, Mark, a 47-year-old travel blogger, deliberately chose a single lifestyle to prioritize his passion for exploring the world. People think I'm missing out because I don't have a partner, he shares. But I've seen places most people only dream of. That's my happiness. By challenging societal expectations, mature singles can carve out lives that feel authentic and rewarding. The key is to stop internalizing external pressures and start focusing on personal fulfillment. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The role of social media. Social media has amplified societal expectations in ways previous generations never experienced. Platforms are filled with highlight reels of weddings, baby announcements, and anniversaries, creating an endless loop of comparison. For mature singles, this can feel overwhelming. However, it's important to remember that social media rarely shows the whole picture. For every perfect family photo, there are untold stories of struggles and challenges. Learning to engage with social media in a healthy way, or even taking a break from it, can help reduce feelings of inadequacy. Don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. Unknown. Embracing your unique path. The frustration of societal expectations can be turned into an opportunity for self-discovery. Mature singles have the chance to define success on their own terms, free from the constraints of traditional milestones. This might mean focusing on career goals, nurturing friendships, or simply enjoying life as it comes. For instance, Carla, a 42-year-old chef, found joy in mentoring young culinary students. People used to ask me why I didn't settle down, she says. But teaching others and seeing them thrive is what fulfills me. That's my legacy. Actionable steps to navigate societal expectations. 1. Set boundaries. Politely shut down intrusive questions by steering the conversation to other topics. For example, respond to "Why are you still single?" with "I'm focused on living a fulfilling life right now." 2. Limit social media exposure. Take breaks or unfollow accounts that make you feel inadequate. 3. Celebrate your achievements. Keep a list of your accomplishments and revisit it whenever self-doubt creeps in. 4. Surround yourself with supportive people. Build a network of friends and family who celebrate you for who you are. Chapter summary. Societal expectations can feel heavy, but they don't have to dictate your journey. By redefining success and focusing on what truly matters to you, it's possible to thrive on your own terms. Chapter 3. The desire for connection. At the heart of the human experience is the yearning for connection, and mature singles are no exception. Whether it's a romantic partner, close friendships, or familial bonds, the desire to connect deeply with others is universal. For mature singles, this desire often becomes more pronounced because they've had time to reflect on the types of relationships they truly value. The complexity of romantic desires. Romantic relationships remain a significant focus for many mature singles. However, their desires often evolve beyond surface-level attractions to seek something more profound. Sarah, a 50-year-old marketing executive, shared her experience. "When I was younger, I was drawn to the idea of the perfect partner, someone who checked all the boxes. Now, I want someone who understands me, someone I can grow with." This depth of desire is common among mature singles, as they value compatibility, emotional intimacy, and shared goals over superficial qualities. The quest for meaningful connection can, however, come with challenges. Online dating, for example, can feel overwhelming or disheartening, especially when faced with mismatched expectations or ghosting. We are all a little weird, and life's a little weird, and when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love. Dr. Seuss. The value of friendships. Beyond romantic relationships, mature singles often lean heavily on their friendships for connection and support. Friendships formed later in life can be particularly meaningful, as they are often based on shared values and mutual understanding rather than convenience. For instance, Thomas, a 44-year-old teacher, described how his close circle of friends became his greatest source of strength after a difficult breakup. "They're the ones who remind me of who I am," he said. "I may not have a partner right now, but I have a tribe, and that's everything." A friend is someone who knows all about you and still loves you. Elbert Hubbard. Connection through purpose. Sometimes, The most fulfilling connections come not from relationships but from a sense of shared purpose. Volunteering, joining community groups, or pursuing passions can create opportunities to connect with like-minded individuals. Take Carla, a 48-year-old artist who joined a local charity that teaches art to underprivileged children. "I went in thinking I'd be helping them," she shared. "But the truth is, they helped me rediscover my sense of purpose. I feel connected in ways I never imagined." A life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Albert Einstein. Navigating loneliness. Despite best efforts, loneliness can creep in. It's a natural part of being human, but for mature singles, it can sometimes feel amplified. Learning to sit with loneliness and treat it as a temporary emotion rather than a permanent state can make all the difference. Strategies such as journaling, reaching out to loved ones, or even therapy can help combat feelings of isolation. Building routines that include social activities, whether it's a book club, yoga class, or simply regular coffee dates with friends, can provide a consistent sense of connection. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. Michel de Montaigne. Actionable steps to foster connection. 1. Be proactive. Don't wait for connections to come to you. Attend events, reach out to old friends, or join social groups. 2. Focus on quality over quantity. A few deep connections are far more fulfilling than many surface-level ones. 3. Embrace vulnerability. Be open about your feelings and needs. True connection comes from authenticity. 4. Cultivate self-love. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other connection in your life. Chapter summary. The desire for connection is a powerful force, but it doesn't have to be limited to romantic relationships. By fostering friendships, finding purpose, and embracing self-love, mature singles can create a life rich with meaningful connections. Chapter 4. Embracing independence. One of the most empowering aspects of being a mature single is the opportunity to embrace independence. This chapter of life offers a chance to live authentically, make decisions without compromise, and rediscover the joys of self-reliance. Independence isn't merely about being alone. It's about thriving in your own company and creating a life that reflects your unique values and aspirations. Rediscovering your identity. In relationships, it's easy to become entwined in another person's identity, sometimes losing sight of your own. Being single offers a chance to rediscover who you are without external influences. For example, Laura, a 50-year-old architect, shared, "I realized I had spent so much of my life being someone's partner that I forgot who I was as an individual. Now, I've fallen in love with the person I've become." Rediscovering your identity might involve exploring forgotten hobbies, setting personal goals, or simply taking time to reflect on your core values. This process can be incredibly liberating. To find yourself, think for yourself. Socrates. Building a life of autonomy. Embracing independence means taking control of your choices and creating a lifestyle that aligns with your dreams. This might include advancing in your career, traveling solo, or pursuing a passion project. Take the story of Kevin, a 48-year-old entrepreneur who started his own business after a breakup. "I always wanted to work for myself, but I never had the courage until I was on my own," he says. "Now, I wake up every day excited about the life I'm building." The best way to predict the future is to create it. Peter Drucker. The joys of solitude. Independence also means learning to enjoy solitude. For many, this can be an intimidating prospect at first, but it often becomes one of the most rewarding aspects of single life. Spending time alone allows for introspection, creativity, and personal growth. For instance, Susan, a 46-year-old writer, found that her most creative work came during moments of solitude. "I used to dread being alone," she admits. "Now, I see it as an opportunity to dive deep into my thoughts and let my imagination run wild." Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. May Sarton. Challenging the stigma of independence. Despite its many benefits, interdependence is often viewed through a negative lens, particularly for singles. Society tends to equate being alone with being lonely, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Independence is a choice and a strength, not a fallback option. Mature singles like Jason, a 55-year-old engineer, have found power in reframing independence. Jason shares, "For the longest time, I thought being single meant I had failed in some way. But now, I realize it's an opportunity to live life on my terms. I've learnt to cook gourmet meals and embark on solo adventures." Chapter summary. Independence is not a void to be filled but a strength to be embraced. It provides mature singles with the opportunity to design a life filled with purpose, passion, and fulfillment. By celebrating independence, mature singles can thrive in ways that align with their values and aspirations, proving that happiness is not defined by others but cultivated from within. Chapter 5. Overcoming fear of vulnerability. Many mature singles struggle with the fear of opening up again after past heartbreaks. Vulnerability can feel risky, but it is also the foundation of meaningful connection and personal growth. This chapter explores why vulnerability is crucial and how it can be embraced as a source of strength rather than weakness. Why vulnerability feels risky. For those who have experienced rejection, betrayal, or loss, the thought of opening up to someone new can be daunting. John, a 48-year-old financial analyst, shares his hesitation. "After my divorce, I told myself I'd never let anyone in again. The pain wasn't worth it." This fear of being hurt again is common, but it often creates a barrier to deep and meaningful relationships. Vulnerability involves a degree of uncertainty and exposure, which can feel uncomfortable. However, without it, relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, lack depth and authenticity. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one. C.S. Lewis. The strength in vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of courage. By allowing yourself to be seen and heard, you create opportunities for connection and growth. Take the story of Lisa, a 42-year-old entrepreneur, who decided to be honest about her insecurities during a date. "I was terrified of scaring him away," she admits, but instead, he opened up about his own fears. It brought us closer. When you embrace vulnerability, you give others permission to do the same, fostering trust and authenticity. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Brené Brown. Learning from past experiences. Past heartbreaks and failures can offer valuable lessons if approached with the right mindset. Rather than avoiding vulnerability, mature singles can use their experiences to set healthier boundaries, communicate more effectively, and identify red flags early on. For example, David, a 50-year-old teacher, reflected on his past relationships and realized that his reluctance to express his needs often led to misunderstandings. "Now, I'm upfront about what I want," he says. "It's scary, but it saves a lot of heartache in the long run." Don't let the scars of your past hold you back from the possibilities of your future. Unknown. Actionable steps to embrace vulnerability. 1. Start small. Practice being vulnerable in low-stakes situations, such as sharing a personal story with a trusted friend. 2. Reframe failure. View past rejections or heartbreaks as learning experiences rather than proof of inadequacy. 3. Seek support. Consider therapy or support groups to work through fears and build emotional resilience. 4. Celebrate courage. Recognize and celebrate the moments when you take a leap of faith, even if the outcome isn't perfect. Chapter summary. Vulnerability may feel uncomfortable, but it is the key to meaningful connections and personal fulfillment. By embracing it, mature singles can build deeper relationships and discover the beauty of being truly seen and understood. Chapter 6. Redefining success in love. For many mature singles, the concept of success in love evolves with age. It becomes less about meeting societal expectations and more about finding fulfillment in relationships that truly matter, whether they're romantic, platonic, or even self-focused. This chapter delves into how mature singles can redefine success in love on their own terms and embrace the diverse forms of connection life has to offer. Breaking free from traditional definitions. Traditional notions of success in love often revolve around milestones like marriage, children, and decades-long partnerships. While these may be meaningful for some, they aren't the only markers of a fulfilled life. Mature singles frequently confront societal pressure to conform to these ideals, but they also have the freedom to reject them and forge their own paths. Take the story of Rachel, a 46-year-old financial consultant. After a long-term relationship ended in her 30s, Rachel decided to stop measuring her life by traditional milestones. "I used to think that without a ring on my finger, I was failing," she says. "Now, I see success in love as having people around me who genuinely care about me, whether they're a partner or a close friend. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it." Maya Angelou. Finding fulfillment in different forms of love. Love comes in many forms, and each can bring profound joy and satisfaction. Romantic love, while often celebrated, is just one piece of a larger puzzle. Deep friendships, family bonds, and self-love are equally valuable and deserve recognition. For instance, Peter, a 50-year-old writer, found immense fulfillment in his relationships with his nieces and nephews. "I may not have kids of my own," he shares, "but being the fun uncle who supports and guides them has given me a sense of purpose and connection I never expected." Similarly, self-love is a critical aspect of redefining success. By prioritizing their own happiness and well-being, mature singles can cultivate a life filled with joy and meaning. Lily, a 43-year-old yoga instructor, emphasizes the importance of self-care. "I used to think love meant sacrificing everything for someone else," she says. "Now, I realize that loving myself first makes me a better friend, partner, and person." Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. Lucille Ball. Embracing unconventional love stories. Unconventional relationships, whether they're non-traditional partnerships, long-distance relationships, or chosen families, are becoming increasingly common among mature singles. These arrangements often provide the flexibility and freedom that many value at this stage of life. Consider Amanda and Sophia, two lifelong friends in their 50s who decided to buy a house together after both experienced divorce. "We realized we're happiest when we're together," says Amanda. Who says love has to fit into one specific box? Actionable steps to redefine success in love. 1. Reflect on your values. Identify what matters most to you in relationships and focus on cultivating those connections, rather than adhering to societal expectations. 2. Celebrate all forms of love. Acknowledge and cherish the love you share with friends, family, and yourself. 3. Stay open to new possibilities. Be willing to explore unconventional relationships or redefine existing ones in ways that align with your needs and values. 4. Prioritize self-love. Make time for self-care and personal growth, recognizing that a fulfilling relationship with yourself is the foundation for all other connections. Chapter summary. Success in love is not about fitting into a predefined mold. It's about creating a life rich with meaningful connections. By embracing diverse forms of love and focusing on what truly brings joy and fulfillment, mature singles can redefine what it means to thrive in love. Chapter 7. Finding joy in the journey. For mature singles, life is often viewed through the lens of what is missing. Yet, there's an untapped reservoir of joy waiting to be discovered in the here and now. This chapter explores how embracing the present, cultivating gratitude, and celebrating your own unique path can transform your experience as a mature single into one of fulfillment and happiness. The beauty of the present moment. Too often, people focus on what lies ahead, be it a future relationship, milestone, or life goal. While aspirations are important, they can overshadow the beauty of the present moment. Mature singles, with their rich life experiences, are uniquely positioned to appreciate life as it unfolds. Consider Sandy, a 49-year-old artist. She spent years lamenting her single status until she shifted her focus. "I realized I was missing out on so much," she reflects. "Now, I take time to enjoy my morning coffee, appreciate my daily walks, and cherish time spent with friends. The present moment is where joy truly lives." Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Buddha. Cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for finding joy. By shifting your perspective to focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you can uncover happiness in unexpected places. Research shows that practicing gratitude improves mental health, strengthens relationships, and increases overall life satisfaction. For example, Dante, a 52-year-old chef, began keeping a gratitude journal after his divorce. "I started small," he says, "writing down 3 things I was thankful for every day. Over time, I realized how much goodness there was in my life, even when I thought things were falling apart." Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Aesop. Rediscovering joy in solo adventures. Being a single offers the unique opportunity to explore passions, hobbies, and adventures without compromise. Rediscovering what brings you joy on your own can lead to a more fulfilling life. Take Maya, a 44-year-old travel enthusiast who decided to embark on a solo trip to Italy. "I was terrified at first," she admits, "but it turned out to be the most liberating experience of my life. I learned to trust myself, meet new people, and create memories that are uniquely mine." Whether it's traveling, joining a class, or picking up a long-forgotten hobby, solo adventures allow you to connect with yourself in meaningful ways. Traveling solo does not always mean you're alone. Most often, you meet marvelous people along the way and discover yourself in the process. Jacqueline Boone. Celebrating your own achievements. In a world that often celebrates couples' milestones, it's important for mature singles to celebrate their own victories. From professional achievements to personal growth, Recognizing and honoring your accomplishments can be incredibly empowering. For instance, Tom, a 47-year-old entrepreneur, threw a party for himself after launching his new business. "I didn't need a wedding or anniversary to celebrate," he says. "Building something I'm proud of was reason enough." Don't wait for someone else to celebrate you. Celebrate yourself. You are your own greatest achievement. Unknown. Building a joyful routine. Daily habits and routines play a significant role in creating a joyful life. Simple practices, such as exercising, meditating, or spending time outdoors, can boost your mood and overall well-being. Incorporating activities that bring you happiness ensures that joy becomes a regular part of your life. Judy, a 45-year-old teacher, makes it a point to end every day with a moment of reflection. "I light a candle, sit with a cup of tea, and write down one thing that made me smile that day. It's a small ritual, but it reminds me how beautiful life is." Joy is not in things, it is in us. Richard Wagner. Actionable steps to find joy in the journey. 1. Practice mindfulness. Take time to savor the small moments in your day, such as enjoying a meal or watching a sunset. 2. Start a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're thankful for each day to cultivate a positive mindset. 3. Plan a solo adventure. Step out of your comfort zone and try something new, whether it's a solo trip, a class, or a new hobby. 4. Celebrate your wins. Acknowledge your achievements and milestones, no matter how small. 5. Create a joyful routine. Build daily habits that bring happiness and balance to your life. Chapter summary. Finding joy in the journey is about embracing the present, appreciating what you have, and celebrating the unique path you're on. Mature singles have the opportunity to craft a life that is rich, fulfilling, and authentically theirs, proving that happiness isn't a destination but a way of living. Conclusion. As we conclude this exploration into the fears, frustrations, and desires of mature singles, it becomes clear that this stage of life is not a deficit but an opportunity, a season rich with potential for growth, connection, and self-discovery. Far from being defined by societal expectations, mature singles have the unique chance to create a life that aligns with their personal values and dreams. The path of a mature single is not one of waiting or incompleteness, but of embracing individuality and self-empowerment. It is about recognizing that happiness is not contingent on external circumstances or validation. Instead, it comes from living authentically and joyfully on your own terms. Consider Maria, a 48-year-old designer, who initially struggled with the idea of being single in her 40s. "I used to think my life was incomplete without a partner," she shares. "But now, I realize how freeing it is to focus on myself and the things I'm passionate about. I've built a life that feels uniquely mine." Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. Success in life and love doesn't need to fit a predefined mold. For mature singles, success might mean nurturing close friendships, finding purpose in meaningful work, or cultivating a deeper sense of self-love. It's about shifting the narrative from what society expects to what truly fulfills you. For example, Jacob, a 50-year-old musician, found success in mentoring young artists. "I thought my life would revolve around a family of my own," he explains. "Instead, I've built a legacy through teaching others to love music as much as I do." Life as a mature single is not about waiting for milestones or significant events to bring joy. It's about celebrating the everyday wins, the quiet moments, the personal achievements, and the connections you build along the way. Small victories, like starting a new hobby, conquering a fear, or simply enjoying your own company, deserve recognition. For instance, Betty, a 46-year-old teacher, makes it a point to celebrate her solo travels. "Every trip I take reminds me how capable and adventurous I am," she says. "These experiences are mine, and that makes them special." Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Robert Brault. Throughout this book, we've explored how connection, whether through friendships, family, or romantic relationships, enriches the lives of mature singles. True connection begins with the relationship you have with yourself. When you love and value who you are, you open the door to authentic relationships with others. Surround yourself with people who are going to lift you higher. Oprah Winfrey. As this chapter closes, remember that your story is still unfolding. Whether single by choice or circumstance, your life is full of possibilities waiting to be discovered. Embrace the journey, celebrate your unique path, and trust that happiness lies not in the destination but in how you choose to live each day. Remember, love, whether it's romantic, platonic, or self-love, is always available to you. And when you least expect it, the universe has a way of surprising you. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Peter Drucker. As Maya Angelou said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." Embrace your journey, and trust that everything will fall into place. Your story is far from over, and the best chapters might be yet to come. Thanks for listening.